Prices have gone up.
Taking on those who will price gouge at the grocery stores and other stores.
I will focus on one element that's on the minds of many Americans as they pay their bills at the kitchen table or walk the aisles of a grocery store.
I'm DZ, and I came to Target myself to answer the question, are they ripping us off with their corporate greed?
And to determine that, everybody, we're looking at this thread from Steve Weisner, and he broke down paper towels and toilet paper at Target today to see if there's an absolutely insane example of corporate greed and price gouging. And so he decided to do his own analysis because he was so angry because prices have gone up. So we started looking at Target's annual revenue. So we're going to break down the numbers, and at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you why exactly is your toilet paper so expensive when you go to Target. So here you can see since 2018, we had a nice rise in annual revenue. This is how much money Target's bringing in year after year. But then something started happening. It kind of peaked in 22, and we even have the last 12 months. It's fallen even further to 106. So we got up to 106, 109, fell to 107, and for the last 12 months in 2024, down to 106. So we're seeing a little bit of revenue slipping here since 22 and continuing to do so. But when you start to break down the cost of goods sold, aka they bring in this much money, but this is what it costs for them to sell you those products, cost of goods sold were outpacing how much revenue they were bringing in. It does a great job breaking down how much profit you make on every dollar of revenue today. So in 2018, they were making 8.4 cents. So if they're charging you $1 for something, it costs about 91.6 cents. But now you can see it has actually fallen. They have now reduced that 8.4 cents to 7.6 cents. Now it might not seem like a lot, but this is actually a considerable amount when you're talking about razor thin margins like grocery stores have. But some of you more astute viewers might be wondering, well, if Target's not price gouging, then it must be the toilet paper manufacturers, because I know there's corporate greed somewhere. I could just smell the corporate greed. In fact, Kamala has even more comments on it.
And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food.
So the price gauging must be coming from the toilet paper manufacturers, all right? Well, not quite, folks. And when we look at Kimberly-Clark, we see something similar. And if you're wondering what is EBITDA, that is just earnings before all of your expenses like taxes, depreciation, interest, etc. And their EBITDA margins aren't that great. And if you look here, you can see it's actually been declining. 2018, there was 16.1%, and now has fallen to 11.6%. So if you're wondering what that basically means, they used to make 16 cents off a dollar. Now they basically make 11. Now that's not quite exactly accurate with all expenses, but that's the rough estimate. And if you want to know what this means, just think of yourself, all right, for $1, they used to make 16 cents, and now they only make 11. And here you can see International Paper. You can see they made almost $3 billion in earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization in 2019, but now it's just all the way a little over 2 in the last 12 months. So they've actually seen a little bit of a decline here, and I did a little bit more research. I was wondering, all right, well, let me just check myself. For the last quarter, it's actually lowered even more, and now it is down to 10.5%. And so they had revenue of $4 billion in just 3 months. They brought in income of a little under $500 million. Now, that might seem like a whole lot, but then you realize, oh, they have 39,000 employees, so revenue of $20 billion. All right, well, they're basically employing a small city. So that's a lot of people wiping a whole lot of butts. I didn't realize there was that much toilet paper out there. So if it's not going to Target, Target's not guilty of corporate greed. The toilet paper manufacturers are not guilty of corporate greed. Why is it more expensive when you go to the grocery store, everybody? Well, folks, everything is more expensive across the board. So I pulled up, first thing I looked at was energy. I tried to find a nice graphic here, and this is real electricity prices in Australia. So this is Aussie prices here. And I imagine they have to wipe their butt down there as well. And you can see that energy prices across the board are rising, and nothing has risen more than household electricity, meaning it has never felt more expensive for you to power your home. That AC has never been more expensive in your life. Business electricity, business gas, household gas, doesn't matter what it is. Across the board, energy prices are going up. So if you have a factory and it's making toilet paper, and you can see it basically went from $1,000 to about $1,700. We're seeing about a 70% energy cost rising in Australia. Now, is it just energy? It is not. It is also wages. Employees are having to be paid more and more to do the same job. You got people trying to work from home, people trying to do gig economy, and now it is just more expensive to hire at any given field. Quarterly percent range. And so actually what we're looking at here is 12-month percent change. This is year over year. You can see we're hitting about 5% 5% increase year over year. So if they cost $1 to make it, next year it costs $1.05 in labor. But that toilet paper hasn't gone up 5%. You know, maybe it's only going up 3-4%. And so they end up making less money. And if you're wondering, well, it feels like it affects me even more than that, that's because inflation has been outpacing your hourly earnings. So you've been making a little bit more money, yes, but inflation has increased even more than that. So while labor's going up, cost of goods is going up, electricity is going up, where you have your building, the real estate is going up, everything is going up across the board. And so when you have people pointing the finger and just saying, hey, it's the evil corporation, the story isn't that simple, folks. And they say The Simpsons almost always says it best, so I'm just going to end with the Simpsons meme here for you. Principal Skinner, everybody. Could prices be increasing because of government spending in the Federal Reserve? No, it is the corporations who are greedy. That's our video today. I'm not trying to carry water for the big corporations, but when I see people pointing the finger instead of pointing it at themselves because they added so much money to our money supply, I just get so frustrated. And if you get frustrated from rising prices, hit that like button. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, and I'll see you, your canned beans, and your stockpiled toilet paper at the top.